Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, man found guilty of sexually assault, kidnapping, robbery. A jury took less than 2 hours Wednesday to convict a man of sexually assaulting a woman and tying up her and two others at Emery Farm in Durham last year. Joseph Flynn, 47, was found guilty of 9 felony charges, including 3 counts of aggravated felonious sexual assault, 3 counts of robbery, and 3 counts of kidnapping. Flynn admitted that he tied up the woman during a robbery at Emery Farm, but he denied sexually assaulting one of the women. He claimed that he and the woman took drugs together and planned the crime together, and that the sex was consensual. Prosecutors said Flynn made the claims because he knows he's going to prison and didn't want to be labeled a sex offender. This is a breaking news story. It will be updated as more information comes into our newsroom. Fire suppression system accidentally goes off at Waltham gas station. Let's take a listen to the video from WCVB Boston.
It's time to upgrade at Nissan's Tech for All sales event. Get 0% financing on every model, including Rogue with ProPilot Assist. Hurry, event ends soon.
Now's the time to save with exclusive offers like this.
Layout, but it looks like this place got hit by a snowstorm. Look at this minivan. This person out pumping gas when the fire suppression equipment for some reason went off, and there's this dust everywhere. You look on the ground, kind of kick it around, this fine dust, and it really got all over the place. This is the gas station itself. You can see coated the doorways, coated everything here. We'll show you the view from Sky 5 above the scene shortly after this happened this afternoon. This fine powder just covered all these cars and people who were out pumping their gas. They describe it like it was a blizzard here this afternoon when the fire suppression equipment went off. Now, the people that we talked to say that it was going on for at least a minute, maybe a bit more than that, and there was really nothing they could do. They tried to run for cover here, try to get away from all that powder coming down. If you've ever used a fire extinguisher, it's kind of like that fine powder that comes out. So they say it had a smell to it. And now back live here on the ground, you can see this car on a tow truck. What they're doing now is towing all these cars away just as a precaution. Not sure exactly how the chemicals got into some of the air filtration equipment inside these cars. So now they're towing all these cars away. So certainly a headache here. Thankfully, no one hurt. There was no fire here today, so it's not clear what triggered these nozzles, this fire suppression equipment, to go off.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Good news that no one got hurt. Hearing set for GOP lawsuit over ranked choice voting. Let's take a listen to the video from WMTW News 8 Maine.
Installing a gutter system can be challenging, but we make it easy. Quality Installation is the nation's leader in gutter installations. Call now for a free assessment and ask about our 10% discount. Quality Insulation, serving Greater Portland, Lewiston, Auburn, and Augusta.
Yeah, the hour-long hearing wrapped up a little after 3 o'clock. The judge will make a decision in the next week. Time is of the essence because, believe it or not, primary day is 20 days away. Now, the main GOP filed this lawsuit earlier in the month after delegates at the party's state convention stood unanimously in opposition to using ranked choice voting for the primary election. Lawyers for Republicans say it's the party's constitutional right to decide how it will select its nominees. Supporters of ranked choice voting say the method actually gives more power to rank and file Republicans.
Is it the party leaders in smoke-filled back rooms that get to decide their nominees, or is it the voters in that party primary? And I think voters ought to be able to decide elections, not party leaders. And that's what ranked choice voting allows.
It's up to the party to decide who its nominees should be, and part of that is deciding how its nominees should be selected. That shouldn't be forced on the party by outside interest groups.
Now, this lawsuit is technically filed against the Maine Secretary of State's office. His office was represented by an attorney from the Attorney General's office. Now, the Secretary of State's office has already printed ballots for primary day. Now it's just a question of how exactly voters are instructed to use them on June 12th. Live in Portland, Paul Merrill, WMTW News 8.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Wednesday evening. And here is a look at that U.S. stock market for you, and here is how it closed for this evening. Stocks revise losses, finishes up after Fed minutes show willingness to let inflation run. Stocks closed slightly higher Wednesday, pairing earlier losses after the Federal Reserve said it would be comfortable letting inflation temporarily run above its inflation target. Judge rules Trump can't block people from his Twitter account. Let's take a listen to the video from ABC News.
Scandalous romance.
Two ridiculous plot twists.
Son?
We also know you can avoid drama by getting an annual checkup.
So we're partnering with Cigna to remind you to go see a real doctor.
Go, no, and take control of your health.
It could save your life.
Doctor poses.
Dad.
Cigna, together, all the way.
Looks like a very serious event, but we'll find out. When they look at the documents, I think people are going to see a lot of bad things happen. I hope it's not so, because if it is, there's never been anything like it in the history of our country. I mean, if you look at Clapper, he sort of admitted that they had spies in the campaign yesterday, inadvertently. But I hope it's not true, but it looks like it is. Well, I don't want to get into it yet, but I will tell you after we look at the proof. Would he know? I would certainly hope not, but I think it's going to be pretty obvious after a while. What I'm doing is a service to this country, and I did a great service to this country by firing James Comey. And, excuse me, a lot of people have said it, and you go into the FBI, and a lot of those great people working in the FBI, they will tell you, I did a great service to our country by firing James Comey. We now call it Spygate. You're calling it Spygate. A lot of bad things have happened. I want them all to get together. They'll sit in the room. Hopefully they'll be able to work it out among themselves. What I want total transparency. Wait, you have to have transparency. Even they probably want transparency because this issue supersedes the parties. This supersedes Republicans and Democrats. So what I want from Rod, from the FBI, from everybody, we want transparency. And you know what? I think in their own way, they are obstructionists, but even the Democrats, I really believe, on this issue, it supersedes. I think they want transparency too.
Okay, and there you go on that video. Also, a federal judge in New York ruled Wednesday that President Donald Trump can't block people from his Twitter account because they disagree with his political views, saying such actions violates the First Amendment. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your night, and I'll be back with another newscast tomorrow. And I'll have Good Evening New Hampshire starting at 6:30 p.m. and a news report in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.